scheduled in May 2012?
Well, I can give you the emphatic answer that we will continue to pursue police and crime commissioners to the original timetable. And the reason for that is that this was a manifesto commitment that the Conservative Party made. It was also in a different form a manifesto commitment that the Liberal Democrats made because they wanted directly elected police authorities. And it was shaped into a coalition agreement, and that means that we're entitled to see this through. And the elected House, in the end, I think will insist on the policy because it's already agreed it. The Lords is a revising chamber. They can ask us to think again. They can offer amendments, and so they should. I think they may have slightly overplayed their hand by chucking the whole thing out altogether, which is very unusual for the Lords because it makes then this kind of detailed deliberation much harder. But we are confident this is the right reform. It's been very popular in London, where the Mayor has more responsibility for policing. It's given Londoners a voice. It hasn't interfered with the operational independence of the Met, which is rightly remaining and will remain across England and Wales. We just want to give this same stronger say to the people in England and Wales. And it also enables us to take the Home Office and all of the interference that we've seen in policing out of local policing and let these decisions be taken locally, give more discretion to police officers. So I really do think it will be good for policing as well as for the public.
Does it concern you that a great number of elected police and crime commissioners?
Well, we've actually got a transition board which I've set up in the Home Office and which I chair, and all the major organisations are represented on that, usually at a very senior level, at PO, and the Association of Police Authorities, the Association of Police Authority Chief Executives, and so on. And we actually have a number of work streams that are looking at the specific transition issues, how we will affect this transition to directly elected police and crime commissioners next year. And that work is going to timetable. It's going ahead very constructively, even with those such as the police authorities who've never, of course, wanted their own demise. I understand that. And we will continue to work towards the election of police and crime commissioners across the whole of England and Wales in May next year, May 2012. That will, subject to the will of Parliament, be the case, but I think that what we will see is that the House of Commons will insist on this policy, as they have every right to do.
Finally, if I can turn to the seem to be against the idea.
Well, I understand why police officers, senior police officers, have expressed concern, because what they want to do is protect operational independence. They don't want to see the politicisation of policing, and nor do I. And the control and direction of police forces will remain with chief constables. That is the legal position now, and it will be the legal position in the future. And we're actually going to strengthen that position by having a protocol which explains how the relevant role should operate. And that makes it clear that it's not the job of the police and crime commissioners to run forces. Their job is to hold the force to account, to set the strategic direction in consultation with the chief, to provide the finance, and to raise the precept, and to be the voice of the people. So it's a proper delineation of the responsibilities. And we don't seek to upset the notion of the tripartite arrangement between chiefs and the local and the national. We seek to rebalance it. I think the centre has been too interfering in policing, and what we're about is restoring local democracy in a way that we're trying to do across public services, where we're trying to put power and control and information in the hands of people and communities rather than in the hands of Whitehall bureaucrats.
Do you have a process for ultimate right of veto, if you like?
Well, it's always been the case, hasn't it, that under the existing pay bargaining machinery, if you can call it that, that's been the case. And we have asked Winsor, of course, in part 2 of his report, to look at the whole question of how pay is determined. But of course, what we want to do is discuss these proposals, and we'd far rather, of course, if at all possible, reach an agreement. That I think any government would like to do that. These are important changes. What I've been at pains to say this week is that we're serious about the process. It must run its course. We must allow each side to make its views known, and we must be evidence-led. We must understand the impact of these changes on individual officers. And I was trying to repeat that on many occasions because this thing is not prejudged. There is a saving which is proposed by Winsor, a net saving of around 200 million. It's not the saving that's described, and I heard that repeated a couple of times of over 500 million, because actually over half of the savings that Winsor identifies he ploughs back in his proposals into new allowances. Now that's the detail that we've got to discuss. The saving is 2% of the pay bill overall. Actually, the lion's share of the savings that we're asking forces to make in relation to pay is from the 2-year pay freeze. And I've made the point that that is going to apply across the public sector, and I know that that's difficult, but it is something we're asking other people who work in other public services to do as well, because we simply have to deal with the deficit.
Mr. Herbert.